Hello there. Well, it's 6 o'clock and I cannot wait to share this one day special with you. It's a Prima one and it's a good one. You are going to love it. And we've got so much that we're going to share with you, not just the one day special, but brand new moulds as well. So if you do want to jump ahead and have a little look, by all means, please do. But don't go too far because we've got fabulous Antony with us with some amazing demonstrations. How you doing?
I'm not too bad, thanks, Hayley. Yourself?
I'm very well.
Good.
I'm looking forward to this.
Oh, this is literally a fest of moulds, and the two that make up the one day special are fantastic. 4 elements in total over 2 moulds, something a little bit different from Prima.
Well, this is it, and I must admit, I have got Prima moulds.
Yep.
I don't know if it's the last time you were here or the last time before. I did get a little bit carried away.
Oh dear.
And I ended up with a lot more than I anticipated, but I love them all. These ones look different. These ones aren't as deep as the ones that I've bought in previously.
No, these ones are actually quite shallow. They can still be used with your clay, with your polymers, with your resins. These are really, really detailed in themselves. But like you said, they're not as deep as some of the other ones, but you can see the detail is still in there.
Well, that was going to be my second comment, because I always thought, oh, to get the detail, they've got to be a really deep mould.
Yeah, no, you haven't really, no. Like I say, you're going to get 4 in total, and you'll see they've all got little hangers on there. The intention is they're sort of like Victorian-style baubles, okay? But we're just going to prove that, you know, they haven't just got to be used for Christmas. You can use them for lots of other things as well. But if you do want to, yes, you can hang them up. I
love this. And I'm guessing because, well, I say this kind of knowing the answer to my question. Over to the side here, we've got a bottle that's been adorned with them. Because you haven't got the depth, I guess they're easy to manipulate. Yeah,
they are indeed. You know, with the clay or indeed with resin, once they're actually, or before they've actually set, you can actually wrap them around objects. If you're going to be using resin, then what I tend to do is actually just set the resin first, and that can take anything from 20 minutes to 24 hours. And then once you actually take it out, then just use a heat tool just on the back of the resin, and then you can start to manipulate that and just wrap around anything. So that's going to work.
Now, on that bottle, you've got some of the elements from the one day specials featuring there, that magnificent crown that we've got, and then some additional bits and pieces. So the keys, things like the wings, do jump ahead and have a little look at those, but I will show you those in a few moments. But these are incredible, and there you go. That's the question that I was asking about, the detail.
It is.
None of it's been lost with these.
None of it's been lost whatsoever. You know, the bell, obviously, yes, I put it as a Christmas image there, but it can be used for weddings as well. There's a wedding plaque I've done there. But when you have a look at the samples, don't just think that they're all plaques. They could be the front of album covers as well.
Good point.
They could be cards. You know, although I've done them as plaques, just think outside of that, because you can be using them to decorate anything you wish.
Well, that elongated bauble there, I mean, that would make a really dramatic, almost hinge on a memory book or something like that.
Yes, it would. So again, just think outside of the box, or shall we say the mould here. And yes, you can be using them for lots of other things. So, you know, whether it's in their entirety, or if you have a look at the little box there on the front, the round tin.
Down here, this looks amazing.
That's actually got the round bauble on the back, but as you can see, it almost looks like an astrological sort of like map or something like that. So there's lots of different elements that you can be using in different ways, and combining them with the other fantastic moulds that we've got on the show, you're going to be creating some really stunning pieces of artwork that it's going to wow people.
Well, there's lots of people already getting wowed with these, because already 10% of the stock has gone. We're just literally a few minutes into the hour. One thing I've not mentioned, which I'm sure you'll appreciate, we have got extended delivery with these, because obviously the shipping element with these. But what was the date again? Sorry, Katie? The 29th of October, so it's not too long to wait. Definitely time for you to start planning that first project with these. And of course, that might involve some of the demonstrations, so we'll look at those in a few moments. But for the time being, let me give you those details. 632-887 being your item number. 2 fabulous moulds there with a £6 saving of £29.98. But before you check out your baskets, I do suggest that you have a look at some of the others that we've got. We have got some corkers. These ones are going to be popular. I mean, wings are always popular.
Absolutely.
But that locket.
Yes. So you've got the locket there in like almost in the shape of a heart. So you've got the 2 different sets of wings. Obviously, there's a left and a right, but you know what? You can combine those 2 wings to make them look even bigger. So lots of different ways you can be using those. Again, they're going to work with your resin. They're going to work with your air drying clay that we've also got on the show. There's lots of different things that you can be doing with just the wings and that locket on its own. I've actually made that one out of resin.
Wow.
So if you tap that against the side of the bottle, you'll see it's
oh gosh, yeah.
So that could also be a key ring, just something as simple as that. If you use things like polymer clay,
or a piece of jewellery. I mean, that looks amazing.
Piece of jewellery, but then obviously All of the moulds that are on the show are also food grade silicone. Now we always recommend that you get a second set if you're going to be using them to do that, but they are food grade. They go up to about 250 degrees, minus 75 degrees, so you can put them in the freezer, you can put them in the oven, you can do lots of different things with them, and then obviously you can be using your hot glue gun to put glue directly into there to take cast as well, so lots of different ways you can use them.
Lovely, and we'll be showing you lots of different ways to work with them. $17.99, that is a very affordable mould then. You're getting a lot for your money with that one. Love the fact that you've got the pairings in there as well. So 257685 if you're fancying those. Now the next one, if you've obviously got a padlock, you're going to need a little key to open it up. And here you go. Not only have you got your keys, but you have also got your keyholes. And you've got a series of these, 3 of each, as you can see. And these are beautiful. Again, I'm going to bring the bottle back in because all of these have been featuring, again, within all of these. Detail with these, though, Antony.
Absolutely. You know, you're just looking at the mould there, a real brilliant close-up. You can see all the beautiful detail that makes up those moulds. So you're going to have 3 different keys. And if you want, you can actually make a 3-dimensional key by using those moulds. If we have time, I'll show you that. You've also got the 3 keyholes as well, all completely different designs. All going to work really well for maybe your steampunk type of projects. But, you know, however you're going to be using them, they are going to look absolutely fantastic and bring dimension to your projects.
Certainly are, and again, very affordable, £17.99. 518881 if you fancy that one. But there's more. You will have noticed those gorgeous angelic little faces on many of the projects a few moments ago, and that has come via this mould here, which is kind of weird because when you look at it, is it going in? Is it going out?
I know, it does give a really, really strange effect, doesn't it? But the faces are absolutely beautiful. 2 identical faces, 2 different sizes. You're also going to get 2 hearts in there as well. Again, 2 different sizes, and then 2 beautiful flourishes. Again, 2 different sizes. So there's lots of elements within that mould alone. Again, they are food grade silicone, so you can be using them for that. But what I've done in a lot of the cases, I've actually paired these up with wings, because then obviously you're going to get, because she does look a little bit like an angel, a little bit like a fairy, almost a bit Art Deco as well. Yeah. So lots of different uses again in your projects for that particular mould, which is the Annabelle.
And then the little smaller heart that we saw on the bottle again featuring there. That's really played with my eyes there. You can see me turning that backwards and forwards. That kept you amused for hours. Exactly. If you fancy yours, then 742867, just £10.99 for that one. Again, these prices are so good. You can understand why I went a bit crazy last time I was Prima shopping. Now, the next one that we've got, this one is definitely going to go into your basket if you've gone for that last one, because the celestial elements that you've got within this one, all those stars and moons, and so many of them, Antony.
Yeah, stars, moons. You could even say that's the sun as well, which which I would say. But you have so many different sizes. I think there's about 3 different styles of stars to start with, available in, I think, 3 different sizes as well. Then you've got the crescent moons, and you've got the full moon, but like I say, that could be the sun as well. So lots and lots of elements, and this really is a must-have if you're going for the wings. It's going to work absolutely fantastically if you're into your steampunk, but again, because it's got stars, it can be used for Christmas as well. So again, lots and lots of different ways you can be using this mould within your projects.
Well, this is it, and when we draw our attention to the faces at the bottom here, this is the kind of the quality that you're paying for when you're going for Prima. Look at the tone with the face here. You can see where the cheeks are there as well. Harsh lines, yeah, we would expect to see those with the star and the crispness, but to be able to get that captured within the mould.
Yeah, again, you can see the dimension just by purely looking into mould there. It does look really, really 3-dimensional. That is going to add just a lot more interest to your projects. So whether you're into your canvases, even your scrapbooking, you know, a lot of these elements are actually quite flat, so you could probably put them inside your scrapbooks as well. Amazing. But they're going to be used for just decorating things around the home.
Love it. That's a popular one. Yeah, that one is proven to be very popular. Already 20% of the stock has gone. So 902044. Now, oh my goodness, look at this one. When I bought my Prima moulds, it's because I've got a project in mind. It was a home decor project, a piece of furniture, and I got flowers involved with this one. I think I'm going to need this one as well.
You're definitely going to need this one. This has actually made a return. This is on the last show. It did so well. Very, very popular indeed. I think it actually sold out and come back on extended. So we bought it back again. There's I do believe 3 main elements of the flowers. You've got one really large one there with the leaves. You've got a smaller one with just a stem and a couple of leaves. You've just got a flower head on its own. You've got a stem there, and then you've also got some additional leaves and also a bud. So you can create the most amazing three-dimensional decorations, whether it be for your furniture, whether it be for your jewellery box, again for a plaque on the wall. It is just mind-blowing what you can be doing with this particular one, and obviously you can colour it whichever way you wish to match your home decor.
I'm busy for this one as well. I mean, so many different ways. I mean, if you want something quite flat, then have a look at this piece. I mean, this is beautiful. Lighter tone as well, which is nice because we've seen a lot of darker tones, but they look brilliant when they're lighter.
Yeah, they do. You know, it just does work so well. They haven't got to be botanically correct. You know, I always say that about flowers. You pick whatever colour suits you.
That's it. They've got very much a shabby chic look to them, I think, when they're light and that brush tone. Again here, this is kind of a marriage of the both together, and I love that. It's almost like a rose gold over the top of there, which really does complement those side pieces there, as you can see. Absolutely amazing, beautiful. Now, if you fancy this one, £17.99. Just one more for me to share with you before we head over and see Antony and what he's up to, because I know you guys are going to want to know it, just as I'm going to be having a purely selfish hour, picking up lots of hints and tips. But not before I show you this one. This one is beautiful. We're looking at ancient findings with these. Now, again, Antony, this one isn't kind of as deep with regards to the detail, but you kind of got the depth there too, almost like the coins.
Do you know what, the detail is absolutely amazing in this one. There's I think it's 9 different elements in total, varying in sizes. They're sort of like coins, they're sort of like medallions almost in there as well. So
wrong way.
so beautiful. Every single element can be used to just add that little bit more interest into your projects. And this mould in particular, you don't have to use each element as an entirety. You can just use the lady in the middle of that one. You could just use the man with the coin in the other one. So again, if you wanted to, you could just do the border. So just think how many different ways you can just use that one mould alone. Really, really good for just adding a little bit of extra embellishment. You know, circles always work really well.
I mean, these ones, when you start breaking down, I mean, here, this one here, you've got the little tiny crown there, you've got obviously the foliage around there, you've got the centrepiece there. My goodness, this is a popular one. Quarter of the stock having gone already. This is brilliant value for money with regards to this one. So if you fancy getting hold of it, £17.99, but so many different elements in there. Lovely kind of cameo pieces there as well, which I know that we love when we look at our embellishment kits. So there you go. If you fancy creating your own there, 518339. Now, of course, we've shown you the fabulous moulds that we're sharing with you on the hour. There's plenty more. You'll see we've got the brushes and all sorts. There's loads. Jump onto the website and have a little look. But we're going to head down to the demo area because we want to see what Antony's going to be creating. But I'm going to leave these examples with you as I go. I do love those videos that our tech guys put together because they get right in there, don't they? So is that one that you did, Antony?
It's one I did.
Oh, is it? Oh, I do apologise.
Yeah, I'm back with that.
I love it. I think the last one I saw that you did with those was all kind of dragons and all sorts of things. So yeah, amazing. I mean, you can see that. I mean, Antony knows what you need to see with these moulds, which is why he's got right in there to show you the nitty-gritty. Now, are we going to take things right the way back, Antony, or how are we getting involved with the demonstration to start with?
Right, we're going to start from scratch, a blank canvas, and we're going to use lots of elements. It is scary, actually, even for me. Right, we have some fantastic mediums on the show as well. There's a couple of metallic paints, and we have also got this fantastic one here.
Oh, what's this?
That is called an icing paste.
Okay. An icing paste?
Icing paste. I'll show you how that works. You can be using it with stencils. You can just paint it on directly. But I found another use for it, so I'm going to be showing you that as well. So here is our blank canvas. It's just a piece of MDF that
right,
I had left over from doing my garage.
I love it.
So this is a piece of blank MDF. All I've done is used a Prima stencil from a previous one-day special. So if you have this one, if you identify it, obviously you can be using any one. So first of all, we're just going to add a little bit of colour first to this, then we're going to get on to showing you how the moulds work. So I'm going to use the light patina. This is almost like a cyan, a blue colour.
Yes.
Really, really pretty. Now, the great thing I love about this metallic paint, sometimes when you say metallic paint, you're going to think it's all glitzy.
Yes.
This is actually quite, and it sounds funny, but it's metallic, but it's also matte.
Oh,
if that
okay,
makes
right.
sense. If you have a look at any of the samples, even the one with the little pot there, the soaked pot, it's got that shine bit. It doesn't really glare at you, which I think is actually quite nice. So I've just basically popped some water in there as well. Okay.
Lovely. Now we've got the details up on the screen there for those fabulous alchemy. I think we saw the name there featuring there.
Yeah.
Loads of different choices with regards to these ones. So as you can see here, you've got your medieval. You've got your what else is that? Your metals in there as well. Nice. And then you've got abstract there as well. All come pre-boxed, as you can see there. And Antony's working with the set that we've got on the screen there, which is your abstract. So of course, if you want to go for one set of them or all three of them, then you can do. They're all on the same item number. And of course, as Antony's working with the different products, we will be bringing those details up on your screen. If you're shopping by phone, then apologies, there are a little bit of a delay with those orders coming through because of the phone lines. Done it again to us, Antony.
So I'm using the brushes. Now the brushes are absolutely fantastic because they are going to work not only as brushes, they've also got these silicone ends to them as well.
These are brilliant.
So if you're using things like clay, you can actually go and sculpt directly into that as well. So I'm just adding a wash. I don't want it sort of like too much, and probably even that's a little bit too much. So I'm just going to spritz a little bit more water on, which can do just to almost like dry brush that, just so it goes into nothing. So like I say, there's I think it's two different brush sets. You're going to get, is it 3 in one and 4 in the other? I'm using the larger brush set just here. So just literally just go over there. You don't have to apply too much pressure. It's just literally just building up a little bit of colour. So that's our first colour.
We've got two. We've got two sets.
They're alive.
Hold on, yeah, I just rolled on the floor, so apologies for that. Right, we've got two sets. One set's got 3 brushes, and they're silicone tools. These are brilliant.
Yeah, they are really, really good. So if you've got like really thick paint, and indeed if you're going to be using the icing paste, you can create texture in that as well. So really, really great one to go with.
And I love this because you've almost got like combs on the end there as well.
Yeah, there's sort of two stroke, 3 different elements to the actual silicone end, let alone the brush on the other end, and they are really, really beautiful
soft
brushes as well.
Now, the one that you've got on the screen is set number 1, which is the one that I'm holding here, £13.99. The other set that I did drop on the floor, and they are very durable, I can guarantee that. With this one, this has been a popular one as well. This one, lots of you have been going for this one. So this one, you've got your 4 double-ended tools, and you can see, obviously, you've got the cap covers there to protect those bristles there, because they are slightly finer, but you have got a mixture of your round tips and also your flat tips with these, even going right the way down to that very fine detail one, as you can see there. Of course, double-ended with more of those silicone tools featuring on those as well. This one's a popular one as well, £12.99. If you fancy getting hold of that set, the details are on your screen. I'll try and pop that on now, that knocking those bristles.
So what I'm using here, I'm using emerald green. Okay, but as you can see, I think it's actually more of like a peacock colour, to be honest with you. It has got like a hint of gold. If you actually look at it directly from the pot,
oh
there's
gosh,
got
you can see that
hint
interference
of gold there. Yeah. But this is the beautiful colour it actually is. I just love that colour. So we're just going to brush a little bit more.
Oh gosh, you can see that metallic, just that little bit that you put on there.
That. So let me just take
now
a little
this
bit
one
more
is from the
colour.
medieval set of the paints.
Right. But again, it is a really, really beautiful colour. So we're just going to blend a little bit of that just going in there. So
those 2 colours work really well
We
together,
are sort of speed crafting a little bit, but you know what? It's going to work out. I've got my. I don't know where the faith's gone, but I'm sure it's going to be there.
Everything that you bring us and you put together is amazing. So
but that's the really great thing, you know. If you do go wrong, then just get some white gesso, go back over it. So we're just going to add a little bit of spritzy water, okay, just over the top there. So we just want to help just blend that in a little bit more, And if you should so wish, then obviously you can go over it, like I say, with just a little bit of white. I'm just going to take some off. Okay, so we're just going to go into there, and basically when I'm pulling the brush inwards, I'm then taking off the pressure, so it's almost just blending in. So let me just grab a piece of kitchen cloth. We're just going to take a little bit of that colour off, not too much. Let's have a look. There we go. And even with the kitchen cloth, as you can see, it's got that little bit of texture going on.
Yeah.
So that's just going to pick up on it just a little bit. Like I say, just don't go
Gorgeous
too wild.
colours.
Okay, nice colours going on there. So let's just mop that one up, and then we're just going to pop that one aside. Doesn't matter too much about there's a little bit of colour in the middle there. So we're going to cover that up. Okay, so we're just going to pop that to the side to dry. Then we're going to come to what is the one day special, which is the fantastic moulds. Okay.
Now, these have been really popular. Nearly 20% of the stock has gone. We've not even seen them demonstrated yet, because you can see from these, you can understand how you're going to be able to use these in so many different ways. £29.98, you're getting your 2 moulds with your 4 different adornments, as you can see there, 632887. And with these, the first thing that I looked at was the fact that they are shallower than we're used to.
Yes, they are.
But, of course, I suppose that means, well, a couple of things. Your clay's going to go further.
Your clay is definitely going to go further.
Which is good.
Now, we have got clay on the show that is from FMM.
Okay.
So we're going to be using some air dry clay. I do believe there's 2 packs of 100 grams each.
There is indeed.
200 grams in total. Now, the thing I love about FMM clay, it is slightly different from other clays because there's less water content.
Right.
So the fact is, water is weight.
Yes.
The fact that these are 200 grams, you're actually going to get more clay and less water.
Oh,
okay?
I see, right.
So what I've actually done on the mould here, I have just basically just brushed some corn flour in. I'll just tap that out. Okay, that's just going to help the clay release a little bit easier. You can be putting things like lip balm, sunflower oil. There's lots of different sort of like things that you can be putting in there, but most people use corn flour.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, because, like I say, this is a drier clay than probably what you're used to, you can literally take it out of the packet, put it straight into the mould. Sometimes with other clays, I recommend that you possibly leave it out of the pack, say for about 5 or 10 minutes. But with this one, you can literally just pop into the mould straight away and you can start working.
And that's nice as well, because I know that when I've been working with the clay as well, getting it to the optimum medium, it can be quite a tricky thing to get right.
It can be tricky if you're not used to it, yeah. But this clay, like I say, is very good. I've been using FMM clay now since about April, and for me, it's my preferred clay. I still do use Hearty clay, but you know, it's just what you get used to, really. But,
see, these are the type of but you know, you're kind of doing your preparations for Christmas. I know this year's going to be slightly different, but I love going to the, you know, in the big stores, the big stores on that. Obviously, London, you often go, don't you, when you're looking at those big stores and the lights get put on and all that kind of thing. But these adornments, these are the kind of Christmas baubles that you look at and you might treat yourself to 1 or 2 of them.
Yes.
Because you're looking at probably £10 for a bauble. So you're not going to bedeck your tree with them because, well, you might do if you've got a bottomless budget. But with these, you could quite easily be making your tree and well, not making your tree, but making your tree decoration.
Yes, you could.
These are going to look amazing.
And you could almost back them up back to back as well.
Yeah.
They're not going to be a perfect fit, I'll be honest with you, but I don't think you're really going to notice that. So in this case, I'm actually not going to be using it as a bauble. We're actually going to be using it as an angel's body.
Okay, right, fair enough.
So this is just to prove that, you know, they can be used for things other than Christmas.
Okay, right.
Okay. Although they're not actually called Christmas baubles, they're called adornments, I think, really, aren't
they? That's it, yeah. We've got silver bells and Victorian adornments.
Yeah. So, you know, it's up to you how you use them, but, you know, there's lots of beautiful texture in there just alone. So what I've done, I've pressed all the clay in there, and just make sure that if there's any clay that basically goes over the edge of the very outer shape, just tuck it back in. Now, I'm using a Dresden tool. I always do. You know, Catherine, when she comes on, she uses her fingers. It's basically whatever you're happy with. Okay, so there's not a right or a wrong way. Now, if you do want to keep that little hanger in place, what I would recommend is just that you leave that in the mould probably for about 5 or 10 minutes.
Oh, right, okay.
So the clay just starts to harden.
Is it quite a vulnerable point then, that?
It is, but if you're obviously using resin, you can just pour and you can go.
Okay.
It's as simple as that. So another one of the elements that we're going to use, we're just going to pop that aside just for about a couple of minutes. We've got the beautiful face here.
I love this.
Okay, again, we're just going to add a little bit of corn flour. Now, what I always say, whenever you start to use a mould, first of all, every single mould you use is different.
Okay.
And sometimes there's different ways of getting different elements out. So I'm just going to basically fill a couple of these. And I'm just going to show you what I mean by that.
Okay.
Because a lot of people often say, you know, well, I've got a mould, flex it and it pops out. Well, it's not always the case, because especially with the stars, and I'll show that as well.
Now, this mould that Antony's working with is called Annabelle. She's a popular girl. A quarter of the stock has gone. £10.99, a very affordable price for this one, and I'm sure you'll agree. Not only have you got those two beautiful faces there of Annabelle, but you've also got your two sizes of hearts.
Yes.
And those gorgeous kind of accents that you've got there, which I think look beautiful. Yeah, I love those. That's a really good selection within that one mould there. At £10.99. Very affordable as well.
So that's Annabelle. We put her to the side as well. And then we just got one of the stars. Like I say, I want to just show you basically how to pop them all out slightly. They're just very, very slightly different.
And this is true because some of them are very kind of, they've got very fluid shapes. Some of them quite angular. I mean, with the stars here, I mean, you've got very geometric shapes.
Yes, and you know, sort of like really, really tight corners as well. So obviously you will see how I actually bend the mould, and that's how to get them out. What we'll also do before we actually take the clay out, we'll just do a couple of measurements, because I have had people ask me on social media, you know, what are the sizes of some of these things as well, which is always very important when you're wanting to shop, is to see if something's going to fit particular projects.
Some little tiny stars there as well, so even when you've got those little bits left over.
Yep. So let's just pop that in there, and then we can actually start just putting those out. So with air dry clay, what's not used, just pop that back inside there and then pop it inside an airtight bag. Now, like I say, I've actually used air dry clay here. What I've also done, I've actually used, and this is a key ring.
Oh, wow.
Okay, this is actually the wings. Okay, but unlike the air dry clay that you can hardly hear, this one's actually made of resin.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so what I've done, I've just drilled a hole through that once it's actually set, put them back to back, because they do work perfectly like that. So again, this could actually be another decoration from a tree. It could be an angel's wings.
The kind of resin where you mix part A with part B?
That's exactly it. And then we put some stars on there, and on the other side we've got a heart. So you can be using those in that fashion as well. So a completely different medium. Lots of gifts. Lots of gifts.
Lovely. Of course, if you need resin, we will have that on the website.
Yes, indeed. Lots of different resins. They're all going to work perfectly with Prima moulds, because all of Prima moulds just on one level. Now, just a quick tip for you. If you want to mix up resin for everything in there, rather than just mix it up randomly and pour it in, what I would do, and it does take a little bit of time to start with, get yourself a syringe, put water in all of those, and measure off how much water you're putting in each time. That is then exactly the right amount of resin that you want to put. Obviously, you want to divide it into two, because most of them are a 50-50 mix, but that's the way to actually do it, so you don't mix up more resin than you actually need.
That's a good tip.
So let's start putting these ones out. So this is the main one, which is the large bauble. So we're going to flex it, and because these are shallower, you can pop that one out like so. And like I say, this is all about just being very, very careful. And like I say, because it's got that element in the bottom there, just pull that out just very, very carefully. And then literally just fold that, and you can see when I fold it, that literally just popped out by itself.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
So that is the sort of detail you can be getting.
See, with that, if you were to get a craft knife and cut the kind of part where you've got the bauble, it's almost like an exotic perfume bottle.
It is indeed. Yes, because you could actually be using it that way as well. So again, it's just thinking of different ways of using it. Now, with the air drying clay, if you want to actually put it around a bottle or something like that, now is the time to actually do it. So I'm just going to use just this just to show you. And literally, you're just going to want to put it on there, and then don't apply too much pressure, because obviously you don't want to squash the detail. But basically just go like that and leave that to dry on that bottle, and that would be good to go. Probably, I always leave it overnight.
Oh, I was just about to say drying time. How long? So overnight. Okay.
So Annabelle here, a really, really simple shape. So again, just flex all the way around. And basically what you want is for air to get underneath. Okay, and you can see how easy that is. Okay,
wow.
so that is Annabelle. And that is such a beautiful little face there.
Gorgeous there.
Okay, all of the amazing detail. Look at that.
That's amazing, because I mean that could be one that if you don't get the face right, it can look quite demonic, can't it?
It can. Now, obviously, when you say that, if you want, you can at this point actually stretch the face so it's actually slightly elongated.
Yeah.
But it's entirely up to you how you use that. The star. Now, when I first started doing these, again, I've been using moulds for quite a long time, so I sort of know how to get them out. But with the stars, again, just wiggle all the way around, okay, like so, and then literally fold that in half.
Right.
And then you can see all of those points have released perfectly.
Yes.
Otherwise, what you'll find, or possibly find, is that, and I'll do it, you know, you're going to probably get something like that where it's slightly bent, but that's the way to get them out really, really well. So just look at the moulds and just think how you're going to do it. If you don't achieve it first time, try to flex the mould in a different way. You'll soon learn that even though all the moulds are different, you will be able to take your clay out.
Now, if you do struggle to get them out, I mean, is that it? Have you wasted the clay?
No, you haven't wasted the clay, because as it is, you can still squish it up.
Okay.
And you can still then remould it. So no, it's you know, that is the great thing about air drying clay. There's no waste whatsoever. So we're just going to pop that one back in. But I'm guessing that once
it's been left, so if you leave it overnight, is that it?
That's when it's too late.
Okay.
Yeah. Indeed. So let's just pop that in there. Right, now the other great one is this icing paste.
Oh yes, back to the icing paste.
Now, I've actually got a mould from another company here, okay? The reason I don't want to use any of these ones is because I'm going to be using them again in demonstrations, and this can take a little bit of a time to actually dry, depending on the temperature. So this is what they call the icing paste. There's lots of beautiful colours.
That's a gorgeous kind of gold tone. What's this one called?
That one's the gold.
Lovely.
Then we have, let's have a look
rose gold
here.
as well that you
We've
can
got
choose
rose,
from.
which is that
Lucky
one
emerald
there.
as well.
We've got this. I think this one's red, but it's more like a copper colour, which is beautiful.
Lovely.
You've then got a silver there as well. And then I do believe the last one is a green. Obviously, all the colours are mixable as well, so you can have fun with that.
Oh, but now we don't have the gold, apparently. We've got the others that you were just showing us there, so yeah.
OK. So I'm going to use the gold.
That's OK, don't worry.
So I thought that was
fine,
on the show. So literally, this is just a mould. I haven't put any sort of powder or anything on it. I'm just literally painting on.
Okay.
And that is all I'm going to do. I'm going to paint this on. OK. So what will actually happen in time, and this is where you can get a nice rough edge to it as well. It hasn't got to be perfect. OK. All you want to make sure is that it's basically the centre part has got a nice fair coating. OK, like that.
Okay, right, yeah.
And then what you can do, let's just pop that back inside there. Okay. And then it can be a couple of hours.
Okay.
Or possibly
just
more.
Leave it to dry naturally.
Just leave it to dry. And then what you're going to get is this.
Okay, right.
So you can just flex the mould.
Oh, wow, so it's like a skin.
And it's like a skin. That's actually the technique.
Right.
So now you actually have the beautiful texture of any mould, any mould, and that is the effect that you're going to get. But it has got this nice rough edge to it as well. You know, I think even if you were to paint that on, it is. Yeah. But the thing is, it's also got two sides to it. So sometimes it's got like a matte side. This is actually both shiny because this particular mould is shiny. But I've got some others.
If you've got something that more of a texture to it.
It's got more of a texture. So that side where you paint will always be shiny, but then possibly the other side is going to be matte. So just choose what you want to use on your project. But that's really, really great. Beautiful use for it. And like I say, you can be using it to put through your stencils as well. It's going to work.
Love that. Okay.
So what I'm going to do to this one, I think this one is probably a little bit on the blue side. I'm just going to add a little bit of white paint to that, I think. Just a little bit of a wash.
No problem.
Okay, let's just check on the time.
Shall I carry on, do a little bit of a recap and then we'll come back to you? Because obviously we're busy. We're busy, as you'd know. It's Prima One Day special launch hour. Of course we're going to be busy. And of course we're featuring these fabulous adornments. You've got two beautiful moulds, as you can see. already, with 4 different designs in total, as you can see with these as well. Absolutely gorgeous. You've got your silver bells and you've got your Victorian adornments. Now, what you've got is a deal on your screen that is good for this 24 hours and this 24 hours only. It's going to go up in price by £6. And the key thing is you need to get in early, because if you've not seen a Prima show before, then you might not be aware, but it's a popular brand. They create these beautiful moulds that we can use in so many different ways, and you'll see that from the finished samples. They are incredible to work with. They're versatile as well. There's so many different techniques and different mediums you can work with these, even so much so that you can create cakes with these. Obviously, you need to get a set that you're going to keep just purely for your food projects, because they need to be food safe, but they are food safe grade. So if you're watching and you're a cake decorator and you've kind of just bubbled across the channel, well, it's good to have your company to start with, but have a look at these. Can you imagine creating things with these? It could be chocolate that you created, it could be icing that you're creating, or maybe you're going to be going down the path of mixed media, maybe using your hot glue gun. Can you imagine some of these created with those fabulously glittery, sparkly glue sticks that you can get for your glue guns? Could be that you're using your air dry clay, or maybe you're going to be using the resin that Antony spoke of as well. But could you imagine creating these beautiful adornments here all year round? As you can see, I mean, we've got a lovely project here that could be wedding themed, or maybe even creating your own Christmas tree decorations. To be honest, if you used it just for your Christmas tree decorations and nothing more, that is £29.98 well spent, because these are incredible. These are kind of memory projects you'll be using for many years to come. But of course, the beauty is you can use them in a whole host of different ways, as we saw. Beauty is, because of them being a kind of shallow design, you can use them without adding bulk to a project. Have a look at this. We've got this bottle here that's been created, and of course that gorgeous crown that you've got featuring, literally wrapped around there. There's no weight to this bottle at all. Absolutely amazing. But then you can see the additional elements that we have got, like the wings, like Annabelle, that's proven to be so popular, and of course that wonderful padlock and the keys as well, and the locks that we've got, all of them coming together alongside your one-day special. £29.98 for those 2 moulds, but almost a quarter of the stock has gone. We knew they were going to be popular. We've got good stock quantities of these, but even so, we are incredibly busy already. So 632887. Antony, how are you getting on over there?
Well, I'm splashing lots of paint about. So, so I've literally just got the metallic paints again, and one of these wide brushes, and I think actually these are actually used for doing trees, I do believe, in watercolour.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But I saw a technique, and they make a lot of splatters quite nicely, so that's
Lovely.
what I've done just there. So we're just going to pop that one aside for the moment to dry yet again.
Wonderful.
So now we're going to go back to the baubles. What I've basically done, I have coloured these. Okay, I'm just going to use Annabelle here just to show you how easy it is to actually get that particular paint technique. Okay, so there's nothing difficult. It is just a wash. You may have seen Catherine do it quite a lot of times. She normally uses black over it, but you know, it's entirely up to you what colours you use.
And you're using that gorgeous peacock blue kind
which
of
is,
tone.
it says emerald green, but it's definitely not a, I don't know. It doesn't look it to me. But it is a beautiful colour nevertheless, and it has got that hint of gold in it as well.
What sorts of things can we use this paint on?
You can be using it on virtually anything.
Okay.
You can actually dab it onto glass. You won't paint onto glass, but it does dab on. And obviously I'm putting onto the air dry clay. This is dried, by the way, this air dry clay.
Okay.
And then we're just literally just going to take that off.
Oh, nice.
We're just going to wipe that off. It literally just depends how much you want to wipe off. Maybe just a little bit more on that side, like so. I think we're sort of happy with that.
I didn't notice the kind of the hair as well. It goes right into the...
It really does bring out all the detail. So just pop that one aside, and again, just with the heart. So literally just go in there. You haven't got to be great at painting, which is great. So just pop that in there. Just leave it a couple of seconds to dry in, because the air dry paper clay is exactly what it is. It is paper. So all of your inks that you use will act exactly the same as they will on paper, as they will on this clay. So that's the sort of effect we have there. So let me just quickly mop that up. Now, obviously, if you want to be using the mop-ups afterwards, then yes, you can be doing that. Entirely up to you. So let's just pop that brush back in there. And then we're just going to use this colour here. Now, this one is Ancient Coin.
Now, this one's coming from
and
the metals.
I love this one. in actual fact, there are 2 different golds in all of the sets. There's another one called Rich Gold. I like this one because it's got a slight coppery type look to it as well. And literally I'm just using a flat wide brush here, and then I'm literally just brushing on there, and you can see all of that amazing detail just literally just does come to life. Okay, so I don't know if we can see that. There we go.
We certainly can.
So just keep on building the colour up. The idea is not to use the brush like that, because obviously you're going to fill in all of the bauble. So literally just brush over the top, okay, like so. So let's just bring in the face of Annabelle there as well. And again, that's when you can start seeing all of the detail there, all of the hair.
I love it. Now, we have had a question come in. It's slightly stepping back a little bit from Debbie. And she's talking about the icing paste that you were working with earlier on. She's just wondering, she's got embossing folders, you know, the kind that we put to our die cutting machine. He's there already, Debbie, you know.
Exactly the same technique as I've used with that mould. Yes, you can paint that directly on. But the thing is, don't then put it through your die cutting machine. No, okay, don't
just
do
let
that.
It
just let it sit. And yes, that's another.
And that's
another
kind
technique.
of a nice way. I mean, Debbie, I'm glad you suggested that, because you've got your innie and your outie then, haven't you? Because you've got your positive and your negative with those folders. So good suggestion, Debbie.
Yep, great one. So again, we're just going to literally just dry brushing that on there. Okay, and then we've got that beautiful locket as well. That is again. I
think this is one of my favourites.
Do you know what the thing is? I think, I'll be honest, we've been spoilt this time, because the amount of moulds that just work so well together. I always say that Prima moulds work, you know, well together, but the sets that we have here, admittedly, when I got them, I was like, oh my goodness, you know, there's so many things that you can do. They all work beautifully together. So there we go. We just brushed that one there. This is the one of the, I think, this one's called the Ancient Findings.
See, this is one that has proved to be very popular.
Again, you know,
do you know what? I'm seeing 60% of the stock has gone.
Well, I love that. I love that. Yeah, I'd buy all of them.
Yeah.
But just look at the face on there.
Oh, is that my Medusa's? It almost looks like a Medusa piece, doesn't it? Yeah.
But to me, they look, there's that French influence about them.
Yes.
But they are absolutely. Look at the detail, and it's just dry brushing over. So we've just gone over with the emerald green, and then just gold. So there's only 2 colours on there, and that's all you need. But look at the dimension, and it is quite a flat piece still. Yeah. But just look at all the amazing detail that is in that one.
See, I didn't know. I don't know whether could Medusa play a tune on a. Was it a lyre or a little harp or something like that featuring on there? I don't know. I didn't do. Is it Greek mythology, that one?
It was indeed.
Not too sure.
So now we're going to start finally putting this all together. So I'm sure everyone's saying, God, hasn't he finished yet?
No, look at it.
But here we go. So. This, I bet everyone who's watched the Prima show has seen me use this, okay? This is the 3D gloss gel, but it also comes in a little tube. And do you know what? This is so handy.
Oh, right, okay.
Because then you can use it like silicone glues. Okay, so literally just squeeze it out, and it is so then easy to use.
Now this comes in a duo, actually. We've brought the details up. You're going to get your gloss gel alongside your soft gloss. 2 bottles there, nice and easy. You can determine between the 2 of those, and you can see they're transparent when you're working with these. £11.98, very affordable and very useful by the sound of it.
They are indeed. You know, beforehand, you've had to use a brush to get that out, but when you're doing sort of like this sort of thing where you want a little bit here, a little bit there, I actually find it easier from the tube.
Okay.
So it literally just does depend how you're going to be using it. So let's just pop that in here.
So this could actually sit in the moulds as well, could it? Can you put it into the mould?
What's that, this one here? Yeah. No, you can't.
Oh,
but funny you should say, the icing paste you can.
Oh, okay, right.
Again, that will actually, if you fill it up completely, then you can actually get a 3D cast from that as well. It takes a couple of hours to dry. Something else to have a play with.
See, I'd be a bit frugal. Perhaps put a little bit in as a base, because that's the first layer that you put in is the layer that you see, isn't it? And then I'd probably backfill it with something else.
Absolutely, yes, you could do that. Yeah. There we go.
So many ideas.
So many ideas.
This looks amazing, Antony.
So like I said, we're going to be using this one as an angel's body, okay? So what I've done with Annabelle, I've actually, when I cast her, you can see she's got a slight dome there. Yeah. So it's just going to fit sort of like and hide all that detail. But as you were saying, you know, when we actually cast that, we could have cut that off and saved that clay. Again, entirely up to you. But the 3D gloss gel will literally stick anything to anything. It's a really good good glue. Great for collage, or indeed what we're doing
it's
here.
Nice, it kind of moulds to the areas that it needs to go into.
It just works so well. We're going to have this little angel, exactly the same as I did the sample. She's going to be holding, that could be a handbag.
Yeah.
But it's holding someone's heart.
She's kind of got an essence of a mummy around her as well. I think looking at this, very Egyptian style, yeah.
So we're just going to go for a couple of these elements. These ones are from the Annabelle as well.
See, these are nice. I mean, there's little kind of accents.
Oh, they are, yeah, so beautiful. You're going to get two different sizes. These are the larger ones I've used here. You're going to get the keyhole, and again, that's another mould there. So we're just going to pop that one on. But
Do you find yourself creating lots of pieces and then kind of going back to them and kind of picking out the elements that you want to use?
I have a box, and I'm in a big box, and just add to them, because once you've actually cast them, you know, you are going to use them in something. And I never normally go for a colour clay, I'll be honest with you. I normally just leave it a white, because you can always colour it afterwards.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you want them white, then there's no going back if you have coloured them. So,
yes, yeah, good point.
So we're just going to add this word here, which is the word lovely. Okay, and these are on the show as well.
Oh, okay.
You're going to get the word dream.
These like little chipboard pieces.
Yeah, they're like thick card. They're all laser cut.
Wonderful. Got those on the website. Pick a mix. You can choose any two of those. Lots of choices. The website's probably the best place for you to go and check those ones out. £11.99 with regards to those.
So I'm just going to spread that glue around, but we're just going to stick that over the top of that icing gel stuff that I think, there we go, just pop it on there. It might fall off, but we'll stick it back if it does a little bit later. And then we're just going to add some more of those details. So we've got the moon there. And again, what I've done with this one, rather than give that perfect finish, if I just spin this round to the camera there, rather than get the perfect finish, I have literally just dabbed it on and then just wiped it off. So you have got that mottled effect, because sometimes, you know, you don't want it perfect, you want that sort of look to it. So again, we're just going to add that onto there, and we're just going to pop that on there. And I do like it when you actually spill over the elements, you know, beyond the actual canvas as well. So it gets rid of the harsh sort of rectangular shapes to it as well. So I'm just pop that glue off. This glue does dry transparent, but it will also dry a little bit glossy, so I do like to take it off occasionally where it shows. We're just going to add a little star, or big star in actual fact. So we're just going to pop one over there, okay, and then we have the heart, and we're just going to pop that up here, I think, and then we can just literally just play around with the placement. And that's where I was saying, where you have circles, I find circles just so easy to place, because you can just place and place and place, and they all look brilliant. And they also go hiding as well.
These could go, I mean, those faces, that circle that you've got there, I mean, could sit in the centre of a flower, couldn't it? I mean, I think back to the, and you'll put, well, I don't know whether you'll remember the old Athena poster stores that they used to have. Yes. There was kind of a series of the baby posters with flowers and all sorts, and that kind of just reminded me of that.
So again, we're just going to pop this circular one here, and that was from the ancient findings. I just love that ancient findings.
They're almost like Roman coins or something like that, aren't they, those findings?
Good. So good. So many elements to play with, you know, all of these magnificent moulds. So again, you can place them so they're not flat, you know, just play around. That's the real key to it. And we're just going to add another little star. Let's just tuck the star in there.
I suppose the thing is as well, with a project like this, you can add to it as time goes on. So you might have projects at home already that you've created with Prima moulds, and then suddenly think, oh, those stars, that would just fill in that little gap, or I could just add this wing to that project.
Do you know what? That's absolutely true. You know, you can just continue to build. Just continue to build. So let's just pop that one on down here, little face down there, and then we're just going to have the key as well. How much time have we got left, Hayley?
Oh, we've got probably about 6 minutes or so.
That's good.
It's gone quick.
I'll go slow motion now. No. And let's just pop the key on. Let's have a look. Where are we going to put this key? I don't really. The thing is, you don't want to cover anything up. Let me pop the key down there. So the angel is holding the heart there, and the key to the heart is down there. So it's got a little story to it as well. And do you know what? I've got another little star here. Do you know what? I'm not going to waste it. Let's just pop that one on there, and then we're just going to pop a little white one on there. And then if you wanted to, you know, there's some of the I think they're called the sandstones, aren't they? The art balls, sandstones.
Oh, yes, yes.
Then, you know, you can just add a little bit more dimension using those. Just sprinkle some of that around there. That's not on the show, but I'm sure we've got that on the website somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, Anthony, that piece looks amazing.
There we go. We are done. But what really brings that to life for me is actually the icing paste, because it just adds that little bit of sparkle. Like I say, the paints, yes, they are metallic, but they're not shimmer.
Yes,
they're actually really sort of like muted, but they do all together just bring a really beautiful effect. And like I say, it's just playing.
It's brilliant. Now, don't forget, with those icing pastes, you have got a series of different colours to choose from. The pictures aren't brilliant, to be fair, but we have got the gorgeous rose gold, that lucky emerald that we saw as well, the old silver, and then the red amber as well. So, yeah, with those, I think over time you'll probably go for all of them, to be honest. So, yeah, just go for any of them now. But if you do want that rose gold look, you can see you can do that quite easily using that option there. And now, one day special. I need to talk to you seriously. This is the first hour, this is the launch hour, and already a quarter of the whole day stock has gone. Prima moulds are always incredibly popular, so we always make sure that we've got good quantities of stock because we don't want anybody missing out on these. What you've got here is a series of 2 moulds, as you can see. Good size moulds, they're 5 inches by 8 inches, but you've got 2 absolutely amazing pieces within each one of those. They're called adornments and your silver bells. As you can see, they're Victorian adornments and your silver bells. And these are beautifully detailed. They're detailed in a way that you could use these over and over again in so many different scenarios and craft environments, whether you're a mixed media artist, whether you're wanting to create baubles for your Christmas trees, whether you're wanting to create your own gift boxes and jewellery boxes. I mean, you can imagine creating this, maybe a tin that you've got left over that you just love the shape of it or the size of it, then adding these fabulous elements. And of course, the back element there, that gold element that you can see alongside those celestial elements there, which are from other moulds that we've got. But here you go. These are the 4 moulds that you've got within your one day special. Of course, they've got the little bauble hanger on there, so if you do want to turn them into traditional trimmings, then you can do. But £29.98 is the most amazing price for these. And of course, Anthony's been creating using these in his example that he created just a few months ago. And I think it's similar to this one that we've got at the top here, isn't it? Because of course, Anthony's is still drying a little bit, but it gives you that little bit of an idea of how it came together there. Beautiful. 632-887. Just very quickly, I need to tell you about some of the other goodies as well, because many of you have been shopping ahead. And of course, that fabulous locket that we saw Anthony working with came from this mould here. You've got your 2 sets of wings. Now, with your wings, you have got your right and your left, which is brilliant, in the 2 different styles that you've got, and you've got that lock in there. But look at the detail. That's what you are getting when you're investing in a Prima mould, that detail that comes out whenever you're creating or whatever medium you're using. So 257685 if you're wanting that one. Then, of course, padlock. You're going to need a key to open that padlock, and that's what we've got with this set. But it's just a series of 3 keys, you might think, but no, you have got those fabulous little kind of keyholes that you could use alongside it. And of course, it does create the ability that you can make a 3-dimensional key with these if you're wanting to back them together. 518881 if you wanted them. But of course, Annabelle was the start of that demonstration, and you have been loving Annabelle, and what's not to love? That fabulous large piece, as you can see there, or the smaller piece that Anthony was working with alongside the one day special, but those gorgeous adornments as well. And she is absolutely incredibly detailed. As you can see there, you're going to get some lovely results with that. Just £10.99 for that mould. Lots of you adding that in alongside your one day special. 742-868 if you're wanting to get hold of those. But then the stars and the moons, the celestial collection that we've got with this one. Absolutely beautiful here. So you can see £17.99, 902044, just £17.99. Very affordable. Many of these moulds are, and of course you've got the £6 saving with your one day special as well. That is the key thing with this one. But another one that has proved to be very, very popular is this one here with the gorgeous flowers in there. Lots of content in here. So you've got your large floral embellishment, as you can see, smaller supportive elements, but whether you're using them all together or just individually, then of course that is a fabulous set. As you can see, they're absolutely beautiful. So if you're wanting that particular one, absolutely gorgeous. Another one that has been very, very popular has been this one here. 70% of the stock has gone of this one. I'm not surprised. Anthony, if you're going to demonstrate this one, I think you better do it as your first demo next hour. This is a beautiful one. Lots of accents, as you can see within here. And at £17.99, I can understand why it is so popular. 518339. Busy for the brushes and the tools as well. Lots of you been jumping and shopping at those on the website as well. Anthony, I have to say it's been an amazing hour. Thank you so much.
Pleasure, thank you.
Yeah.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh, well, and we're back at 8 o'clock with
Back
Yanis.
8 o'clock, indeed. Yep.
Any kind of little sneaky peeks of what we're going to be up to during that hour?
I think we're going to go for the ancient adornments. I think
it's
that's probably
a wise move.
Indeed.
It might be the only chance you get. If you're wanting to get hold of these ahead of Anthony's demo, then do make sure you're checking out your baskets with these in there. And I'll see you at the other side of this with Julia.